Okay, welcome to this next video. We're going to look at something called powers. Now you're thinking that sounds really awesome and really cool, and I promise you it is really awesome and really cool. You will not be disappointed with powers. Before we understand what power is, let's look at an example to understand why we need these things called powers. So in this example, Shaw gets $10 on his first birthday. Lucky him. Even better, every year after that he gets 10 times the amount he got in the previous year. And we would like to know how much money he gets on his 16th birthday. It's going to be a ridiculous amount, but that's okay. So, on his first birthday, we know that Shaw gets $10. And every year after, he gets 10 times as much. So on his second birthday, he would have 10 times 10. And on his third birthday, he would have 10 times 10 times 10. And you can see the pattern. On his fourth birthday, another 10. And we would keep multiplying by 10. And we would do that 16 times. And you see, I'm lazy. I don't want to write 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 16 different times. It's annoying. Why would we want to have to write that? We wish there would be an easier way to write that. And that's where these things called powers come in. We'd like a way of writing repeated multiplication where we don't have to write it that many times. Because this is only 16 times. What if we wanted Shaw's 85th birthday? Do we want to have to write 85 tens? No. So these things called powers are a way of writing the repeated multiplication of a number. In this case, we're multiplying the number 10. So we would write 10, and then we would put a little 16 up top. And this means 10 multiplied by itself 16 times. But now we don't actually have to write it out 16 times. So this whole thing here is called a power. Okay? The 10, the bottom part of it, is called our base. So this power has base 10. And this little number up at the top here is called the exponent. And this means 10 to the exponent, 16, is what we say. And it means 10 multiplied by itself 16 times. And it's nice we don't have to write it that many times. Now you may have remembered seeing this little tiny number up top before when we looked at that thing called squaring. And that is an example of a power. We just didn't label it as that then. Alright, so we have these things called powers. And they are a base raised to an exponent up top. And this would mean b multiplied by itself a times, that many times. We'll look at that more in our next video, how we would actually find out what the answer is when we evaluate powers. But now I just want to talk about writing powers and how we would say them. So our example asks us to write each power. Let's look at A. We want to write the power with a base 3 and an exponent of 7. So we would write our base, remember, is our big number, and then we write the little exponent 7 on the top. And that means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 multiplied by itself 7 times. Mathematicians are lazy, so we created this nice way of writing it so we don't have to write it out 7 times. 5 squared. So that means, remember, 5 to the exponent 2. And we looked at that in one of our last videos where we looked at what squaring is and how we can use that to find the area of different squares. So when we say squaring a number, it really means raising it to the exponent 2. 9 to the exponent 7. So that would be base 9 raised to the exponent 7. And this is usually how we say it in words. A lot of people sometimes say 9 to the power 7, and that's not exactly correct, because the whole thing is called the power. The little thing up top is called the exponent. So you could say 9 raised to the exponent 7, or 9 to the exponent 7, rather than inserting the word power for exponent. You could say it this way, the fourth power of 3. That means we're doing powers of 3, so we know it's going to be base 3, and we want the fourth one, so it's going to be 3 raised to the exponent 4, or 3 with the little 4 on the top. And those are some different ways we would say it and how we could write them.